It is morning here at the Kreke house, and I'm getting started on my kitchen work. I am, if you're new to our channel, I am a mom to 11, and we have our own homestead. We homeschool. We're here all the time, and I cook almost everything from scratch. And so I'm in the kitchen all the time, basically, which is fine. Our house is really small, so the kitchen's right here. We can do school here. We have everything we need right here. So last night before bed, I mixed up some bread dough because some of the kids requested cinnamon raisin bread with breakfast this morning. So I have that dough. I should have gotten a jump start on this earlier, but I did some other things this morning and spent a little time with kids, and so I'm going to end up having to rush this and not giving it the second rise that it really needs. But the wonderful thing about my kids is they are not picky. We have always eaten more or less just home-cooked things. They did not grow up on processed, kid food. They've always just kind of eaten whatever we had here. And so they have become really good eaters. They are not picky. Here's what I'm doing here. I'm going to show you guys. And so, if the bread's not perfectly risen, if it's a little flat, they're going to be fine with it. They're going to gobble it up. Anyway, we have homemade butter that we just whipped up yesterday, so that makes everything taste amazing. So what I'm going to do here, if you can see this, where should I put you to make you see better? What do you think? Everett's my helper here. So what I'm going to do here is I mix together some of that fresh butter that I was telling you about and some cinnamon and honey. And we're just going to spread this all over, almost like we're making cinnamon rolls. This is how we're going to do it this morning. And then, Everett, you want to help me brush it around? Here we go. Here. Take this, and we're going to brush it all over, okay? Spread it around, spread it around. And then we're going to sprinkle it with raisins, and we're just going to kind of fold it into a loaf shape. I need a scraper, too. This isn't doing it. Here we go. So I need a boy to climb up in the pantry and find the raisins, because I think I stuck that bag behind the jars so that the little ones wouldn't find it. They will devour raisins so fast. And we normally save them for church snacks because they're really good, quiet snack for when they're sitting and listening to the sermon on Sunday. So that's typically raisins at our house. You enjoying that? Do you see him back there, Samuel?
I'm still playing them.
Okay, sorry.
He'll only really like it if there's a lot of raisins.
A lot of raisins, yeah. There we go. It's going to be almost like a little swirl, like a raisin cinnamon swirl. Yeah? Okay, Samuel, the next thing you can get out down in the bottom drawer of that is the loaf pans. We'll divide this into two. All right. Lewis is being real talkative this morning. Can you hear him back there? He's being really talkative. Okay. Here we go. So we're just going to kind of fold this. Can you see that? Can you see? Yeah. Can they see? I can see you eating raisins by the handful. Okay, we're just going to kind of tuck it and fold it up together. Whoopsie. I don't want those raisins to get out because then they'll just kind of want to burn. So there we go. Kind of fold it into a pouch. So this is just your regular old bread dough loaf. I use a bread dough. I think it's called the sourdough sandwich loaf off of the Venison for Dinner website. Only I don't follow any of her directions. I literally just dump it all into the mixer, my KitchenAid mixer. Dump all the ingredients in and start mixing. And as I'm mixing, I decide, do I need more flour? Is this too sticky, too wet? And then I'll just add more flour until it's a consistency I like. Wow, this one must have been a little bit thinner because you can see it is, look here, it's wanting to pop out of there, but it'll be okay. All right, let me butter these pans because I forgot to do that, and we're going to put those in the pans and let them rise for a little bit. So last night, whenever I was looking through my recipes, deciding what I wanted to make today with my sourdough starter, Samuel said he wanted donuts. So we're trying out a brand new recipe. You've never tried this one before. He is going to take it over because he's a man on a mission. So he's going to roll this flat, the whole dough. You're going to roll it like a giant rectangle, like I just did.
We're going to need way more.
Yeah, like I just did with the dough, but you're going to use the rolling pin. I've had people ask me where to get this rolling pin. And I must say, you can't get this rolling pin anywhere because it was a rolling pin that broke, as rolling pins often do. The handle cracked. And so Jason kind of made this makeshift thing, which is, it's super heavy and the sturdiest rolling pin you'll ever find in the world. So, it's one of a kind.
Big claim.
So he's going to roll this out and cut them, and then we're going to let them rise for a while. And maybe this will be... When I said, oh, let it rise, the kids are doing behind me. They were doing a skit from Jordan Michael Tuesday, which is very hilarious. I will link the video if I could find it because it's so funny, and then you'll understand why I'm chuckling while I'm watching them. Anyway, you're going to roll it out. You are going to cut the circles and the holes, and then we're going to let it rise. And then, outside, I have in my crock pot here, see this here? I'm all out of lard. This is terrible. I can't believe I ran out of lard. I had jars and jars of it, but anyway. The last batch that I made, you guys probably saw me make it. It was on this channel. And I did a crock pot full, and then I got busy with life and never did any more. And we've already gone through that. So last night I said, well, I have no lard to fry with this morning because I use that for all our cooking. So I sent a kid out to the freezers to get me some fat, and they came back with sheep fat instead of pig fat. And so I tossed it in the crock pot, but wow, does it have a strong smell. This is not the lard that I'm used to. However, it's what we have. So we are going to try frying these donuts straight in that sheep tallow and see what happens. We'll keep you posted. How's everybody doing out here? Some morning time on the porch. Good morning, good morning. Did you put a bowl of milk out for Otis? He hasn't noticed. Woo! Throwing the blocks, having fun. I have been letting this rise in the oven with the light on for a little extra heat. Obviously, it's not risen as much as it should be, but kids are hungry. Ate some eggs. But we're going to go ahead and take this out, preheat the oven, and then bake it. This is what Samuel did with the donuts. I'm going to take those out too so they don't get too hot.
It's only going to go.
So while I'm waiting for the oven to heat up, I'm going to take out my wheel of cheese. So this fancy contraption is my cheese press. I've been learning how to make Asiago cheese, and so Jason helped me. We took a peanut butter bucket from Azure Standard and cut it in half so that the bottom fit inside of the top, and made our own cheese press. And now it tends to leave this big imprint on my wheel of cheese, so being the nifty person that I am, I took part of the raisin box, wrapped it in plastic wrap, and I lay that down first to kind of soften the impression. So, you know, you can make do with what you have. You don't have to go spend a bunch of money to make things. This is not actually cheesecloth because my cheesecloth is just too thin. So this is just a piece of, Benny, why don't you take it outside, okay? Okay, thank you. This is actually just a piece of, it's a towel that's, what am I trying to say? It's a really light, like sort of a muslin fabric maybe. Anyway, this is what I've been using to press it. So I'm going to get this out. This has been pressing under a cinder block, which is just around like 45-ish pounds. It's been pressing all night. Now I'm going to get it out and put it in a saltwater brine. Okay, this is my saltwater brine. I made it with pink salt, and this is the wheel after it came out. So I'm just going to put that in there. and let this sit. I'm going to flip it tonight and then let it sit basically all day and this evening. And then it will go vacuum sealed and be put into my little refrigerator that I have just for cheese. I am taking a little break to sit outside. Leo made me a latte with our favorite Shepherd's Crook coffee. He used the Homestead blend this time, and of course our fresh milk. It's delicious. So behind me here is our dehydrator. We have used this brand of dehydrators. It's London Sunshine. We have used them for years and years. I just got an upgrade and actually passed on my original to a friend, and it's still going strong with her. They are workhorses. I have a friend who has a freeze dryer, and we were talking it over and just the pros and cons of the freeze dryer, the dehydrator, but I was sharing with her how this has been perfect for me in this season of life. It is a cheap investment, and it does so many things. It keeps me busy, and so, it's not like I'm opposed to having a freeze dryer, but I do not have a desire to go save up for one. They also don't require as much electricity as a freeze dryer. Those are pretty serious. So anyway, just feeling grateful for the things that I have, and I'm getting ready to take out what I had in it yesterday, which is chamomile flowers. I'm picking chamomile every other day from the garden because it's in full bloom right now, and I want to save it all up for tea. So I have chamomile flowers in it, and I have a bunch of oregano. I just picked the stalks because I have some really tall stalks in the garden. I'll pull the leaves off now after I get it out when I finish this coffee. And I have a little bit of nettle too, because I found a little bit more nettle, and I like to save that. It's so high in iron and other nutrients, really good for you. You can just make it into tea. You can make it into a tincture. So nutritious. So that's what I had in there yesterday. I'm going to pull that out, and then I need to decide, what am I going to stock it with today? A friend was telling me, as she came last week, and she was telling me that she put eggs in her dehydrator. She scrambled up eggs and dehydrated them to have on hand. And I have never tried this, and I'm really curious about it. So, yeah, that's on my to-do list to give it a whirl. I don't know. We go through eggs so fast around here, and we do water glass them. But the powdered eggs are pretty handy to have, if you just want to throw something quickly into a recipe, and let's say in the dead of winter when you have less eggs. That would be a pretty handy thing. For the most part, though, I have been keeping this thing going with all of the plants, because right now there's so many medicinal plants and herbs growing in the garden that when I dehydrate them and save them for the winter months, it's like having a taste of the garden, even when it's cold outside and the garden is under snow. I did a bunch of chives last year, and green onions, both from the garden. Dehydrated them and then stored them in jars, and they taste so incredible. The flavor is like nothing that you can get from the store. When I first started making my own spices and herbs, I can remember kind of fighting with myself at that time, because I thought, well, it's so cheap to just go buy some. Why should I take the time to make my own? But I guess I'll try, The flavor is unreal. It's nothing like the stuff that has been sitting on the shelf at the store for who knows how long. It's just incredible. And so that's what sold me. That's worth it. So we'll see what we're going to load this up with today. I went outside to the garden for a little bit. It was so humid. I was just sweating buckets, but I got some garden work done. I'm back in the house, and it is starting to drizzle. So no wonder it was so humid. And it got really dark. It's just crazy. It's only 2:30 in the afternoon, but it is so dark. So these donuts have been sitting here rising all day. We just kind of got sidetracked with other projects. Samuel is going to go ahead and test the temperature. We turned that oil in the crock pot on high, and so he's going to see what the temperature is, if it's hot enough to just fry them directly in there. Otherwise, we're going to need to put it in a Dutch oven on the stove. I am going to mix up some popsicles. I like to keep popsicles in the freezer because they're a quick kid snack. I'm just going to use, what was the temperature, Samuel?
340, so
good enough.
that'll work, yeah.
Okay. I have some yogurt that I had made in the crock pot yesterday and never got the rest into a container. So I'm going to mix yogurt, strawberries, and I guess a little stevia. And we're going to blend it up together and get that in the freezer. Think you can fit 3 in there? Oh, that's a good idea. Do some donut holes.
Donuts?
Mm-hmm.
Just side to side. Wait, I think that one's gonna flip next. It just like flopped over.
This is actually,
I see it changing colors.
we were remembering in the Little House book, actually it was Farmer Boy, when Mother said that she made her donuts in twists so they would flip themselves when they were ready.
That one just flipped itself.
Mom,
But that doesn't look done. I don't know.
Well, now the other side has to cook for
Mom?
2 minutes.
I don't remember Bella reading that book.
Oh, there's your timer. You don't remember? She read you that one.
Everything?
Maybe you're falling asleep.
Nope. I could stay awake the whole time.
Oh, yeah?
I just wanted to go to sleep when the book, when the light went out.
Come on.
But
That one
sometimes
is the one that flipped itself. Oh, it was already flipped. The other side wasn't there.
Oh.
Yeah, that one's just gonna be a last one because
Well, this is pretty exciting. It may only take a minute and a half. Those look pretty crispy.
Mom,
Oh, this works
that's
really
how
well.
people
Mom!
like their donuts. crispy on the
after they're
outside.
cooked, put sprinkles.
You want sprinkles on yours?
Well, we could only do really sprinkles if we put a glaze over it.
Yeah, we
because
never
then
made a glaze.
They wouldn't stick.
We can have them with a glass of fresh milk.
Yeah, I think a minute even works.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I don't know.
got
We'll
a
see.
good one
We'll
ready.
try the
Okay.
time. Yeah.
All right.
Got it.
All right, you guys have this under control.
Yep.
You're going to put them on here when they're done?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so the consensus is they taste amazing. But the hard part is that the crock pot, because it's not a burner that's really rapidly heating, it's cooling down fast to where the second batch is taking longer than the first batch. So he's going to try putting the lid on. If it gets too drastic, we'll have to move it to a pot on the stove. But
These
they
taste-
taste incredible. They're really light and fluffy. They're not super sweet. They're just a delicious snack. Look at that. Mmm. Success. Let's
These
get some
really puffed
yeah.
up.
Let's get some milk to have a glass of milk
Yummy,
with it.
yum,
Mm.
yum, yum, yum.
Before it started raining and I was in the garden, I grabbed more of these chamomile flowers. There's just so many right now and they're wonderful. Just the perfect time to dry them. So I grabbed those and I grabbed a bunch of oregano. I'm going to probably just pull these leaves off after. If I had time, I'd sit here and pull them off real quick now, but I don't. So I'm just going to stick them in here and let it go on 95 and then deal with it tomorrow. It has been crazy this afternoon. Thunderstorms, lightning, really intense. I'm tired. The kids are building forts all over the house. It's time to make dinner. So I'm heating up the Blackstone right now. I'm going to cook these ribeyes that I had left over from the last cow we butchered. I'm going to serve salad with it and call it good enough. I was going to use the rest of my sourdough starter because I have probably 2 cups that isn't very bubbly, so it's just a discard, and I was going to use it to make a skillet cornbread to go with this, but I am pooped. So we're just going to keep it simple with ribeyes and salad and call it good enough for tonight. And I'm going to take some of that discard and feed it so that in the morning we can start all over again.